Good evening, YouTube. Rough night in Denver for the Sharks. They get shut out 3-0. And I'm here to talk about it. I'm here to put some perspectives together, try and take a deeper look. I mean, we do the post-game show. We have those instant thoughts and analysis. Something about the drive home for me that lets things sink in a little bit more. I digest my game log a little bit more, and I come up with these thoughts for you here on YouTube. Do you hear this? Six. I think there were 6 posts hit tonight by the Avs. And they got their 3 goals all in the third period. Nazem Kadri, and that's the crazy thing. 50 minutes of this game went by, and we're scoreless. And yes, like I said, the Avs hit those posts, and the Avs had their chances, couldn't capitalize. But that's what made you think, all right, this is the one for the taking. This is there to steal. This is there to get your own goal, maybe a 1-0 San Jose win. Turns out Nazem Kadri was a benefactor of some loose change at 9:55 of the third. And then a minute and 58 seconds later, he sauced one beautifully to Andrei Burakovsky, and he finished with, a very skillful goal, just getting the stick blade out there. And then Kadri had the tip on the Cale Makar shot with about a minute and change left on the clock. So frustrating in a sense for San Jose that you were in this thing enough. And I'm not here to say they played a perfect 50 minutes of hockey. That's not true. But they played well enough to change the narrative of the game, to have it not be a back-and-forth track meet like kind of what the Avs opened up on Tuesday night. So you get to dictate a little bit of the style and pace of this game. It benefits you, and you can't ultimately capitalize in the end. You guys normally know I set the timer for 10 minutes here. Tonight, I have family obligations. I'm probably going to be waking up at 5-something tomorrow morning with my son. So it's a 5-minute timer tonight. Plus, I'll be honest, some games like this one, and really through 50 minutes, just did not have a whole lot going on. They don't provide the most talking points in the world, but that's what I want to do right here and now. So let's go period by period. First frame, Sharks had the man advantage technically 3 different times, and I think their total power play time in this game was 6:27. So let's just call it 4 and change in the first period. On the power play, and just yet again, not only not being able to convert on the power play, but I think what you're noticing is not setting up, not establishing enough on the power play, having trouble entering the zone, and getting configured, getting the guys where you want them to be. Now, the other part is if you don't score on the power play, okay. But obviously what you're intending to do is gain some momentum in the game, have a power play influenced goal, and the Sharks just are not doing much of that lately. It's not to say they can't, because I think we saw one of their strongest points at the beginning of this season was the power play. I don't know that they were relying on it, but it was definitely part of their offensive arsenal. And for whatever reason, they've gotten a little bit away from that. And I know Bob Boughner going into this one did change a couple people. Donato, right, on the top unit, but didn't really split up 65 and 88. I know people are going to talk about that because they're 2 of the biggest names out there. Realistically, I don't know how much that is going to change your look or your result. I mean, you're going to want to see them equally out there, but like I said, this is not about individuals. The entire team having issues on the power play, getting in the zone, getting established, and starting an attack. Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, I do want to say he was the first guy to hit the post for Colorado in this game. He also left after kind of going knee on knee with Ryan Donato. I wish him the best. That was ugly. That was unfortunate. And so, the first period for the Sharks, they actually outshot the Avs, but no score to show for it. And maybe looking back, that was their time to capitalize in this game because the Avs got better as the night went along. I really feel like, and Boughner said this, second half of the second period is kind of where their game turned on. And then shot clock isn't always it for me, but they outshot the Sharks 20-8 in the third period alone. And we're only talking about one and change on a power play opportunity. So it wasn't like they were constantly on the man advantage, getting all those extra shots. Second period, and I wrote this down specifically because the fourth post was hit about 5 minutes into the second period. What do you make of that? Are you getting lucky? Is it, by the way, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it. I forgot to switch cameras there. Second period, when you start to really notice the trend of posts in this game, obviously Dubnyk didn't, look at where all these goals are scored. I have a hard time pointing the finger at Devin Dubnyk, or really Martin Jones a lot this year. But Dubnyk, is dealing with point-blank chances. Look at all 3 goals tonight. Kadri, out front, loose change. Burakovsky, a tap-in. Great pass, but he was able to get net front. And the last one, Kadri tipped it right out front. He was surrounded by Sharks, don't get me wrong, and they were on the power play too. But it's players out front of San Jose's crease 3 times tonight, and that's how they scored. By the way, this was the first time that the Sharks were shut out this year, and this was the second time that the Avs had posted a shutout. So really, what more can you say? There's a lot of yeah buts going on with the Sharks right now. For example, you were in tonight's game through 50 minutes. Yeah, but the Avs hit 5 or 6 posts, so maybe they should have been on the scoreboard. They should have had the advantage the whole time. Or how about this for the Sharks? 3 wins now in 8 games, a tough road trip. They're the only team in the league that's yet to play a home game. That's important. This team's been on the road for 30 plus days, more like 40 plus days at this point. But only one of their 3 wins in 8 games has been in regulation. Again, I understand where people are concerned, but I also understand why there's a lot more hope for this team than where they're at right now. The other thing I'd point out is that you have just gone through playing back-to-backs with all 3 of the teams. I take it back, not all 3 of the teams, but 2 of the 3 teams that people really expect to be among the top in this division. St. Louis, the Avs, and the issue is here, up next, you're about to play Las Vegas. Here's the timer. There you go. So I will wrap it up here pretty soon, but it kind of brings me to looking forward now. Like, the road does not get any easier around the corner. On Monday, when I say on Monday, I think the Sharks will play next on Monday. I really don't know. In fact, I would wager it. 50-50 at best. You don't know how much COVID has spread through Las Vegas. You don't know what the league's going to do. Their entire practice facility shut down, getting completely scrubbed. How deep it has affected their coaching staff or more players. I don't know if it's just Alex Pietrangelo or more. But the bottom line is that's going to be interesting because fortunately it's not the Sharks. Look, unfortunately it's human beings. I do not wish any ill to anybody for the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and specifically Pete DeBoer and company. But I don't know when the Sharks' next game is going to be, but I do know if it is Las Vegas, even if it's Tuesday, Wednesday, if that's possible, instead of Monday, Wednesday. These are tough, 2 more tough games. So it gets tougher or as tough before it gets any easier. And when I say easier, yeah, they're going to play, I think it goes Anaheim for 2, then LA, then Anaheim again for 2 more. But that's what we haven't really found out yet. We haven't got to the games that the Sharks should gain, the games and stretches where they should gain some momentum. We haven't got there. I'm not saying that that's an excuse, but I'm saying I need to see a little bit of that too, right? First 2 games against Arizona, you're just launching your season. And the Coyotes are a good team. St. Louis, after that, very good team, right? Like one of the top 3 in the division, definitely. After that, Minnesota, another Arizona-ish type team. The Sharks split games there. In fact, they had one of their probably best outputs, especially in the second game there. And then now you come out to Colorado, a team that a lot of people could see in the Stanley Cup final. So you've had some challenges, you've had some tests. Here's another but. The Sharks got blown out and lost by 4 2 nights ago. But tonight they only lost by 3. I do want to say this. I think they were much tougher to play against tonight. I go back to the power play thing, and I'm sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place here. I'm looking at the time. I'm realizing I got to wrap it up soon. But in 6 minutes, 6 minutes 27 seconds, couldn't really get anything going on the power play. And had they had done that earlier in the game, specifically that first period, I wonder how the tide would have turned. I wonder how the momentum would have went. I wonder what the end result of this game would have been. But instead, it's another loss for the Sharks. Now 3-5 through their first 8. Starts are important. I'm not going to lie. 56 games, you're already 1/7 of the way there, being 8 games in, and you don't want to be chasing it all season. So you want to be like they were tonight, tough to play against, but eventually have to start getting some of the results to go with it. Let me just make sure. Yeah, stream's been up. Look, I appreciate everybody. Yari, nope, not much going on tonight. I know there's going to be a lot of negative commentary with this one. Ducky, great handle there. Ducky saying they need to play the body in the net front area. Too much stick waving. And Ducky also saying now those are very important games in the weeks to come. So, look, I mean, you've played some tough competition thus far. You're going to get a little bit more before, like I said, the schedule turns. But look, it's up to the Sharks to win in all those other games against LA and Anaheim. If they're really much better than them, they're going to have to do it. The power play is going to have to start clicking a little bit. So, and I would also leave you with this. One of the big areas of emphasis last year was team defense. And it does seem like tonight, defense in some ways probably decided the result of this game. So there you have it. Do I still have that effect? 1, 2, 3. How about this? 4, 5, 6. All right. That does it. I'm sorry this was shorter tonight, but in actuality, it works out probably better because, like I said, some games, they just don't give you a lot of talking points. And I could dive into some deeper level stuff here, but this works out for me. A night where Nazem Kadri, in the final 10 minutes, found a way to get 2 goals and an apple in the final 10 minutes. 20 shots on goal for the Avs in their third period. The Sharks by period 7, 6, and then 8. And for the Avs 6, 12, and 20. So, look, I don't always use shot clock as a game indicator, but they got better as the night went along. All right, we are off until Monday. I might live stream this weekend, but until the next Sharks game, be safe, everybody. Good night.